Hello and welcome to Common Ground, the podcast where we break down big topics into everyday conversations. I'm Jack.
And I'm Nita. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest and sometimes most confusing subjects of our time, climate change.
It's true. We hear about it constantly, in the news, in political debates, from scientists. It can feel overwhelming, like a problem too large to even comprehend, let alone solve.
Absolutely. So today, we're not going to just talk about melting icebergs and doom-filled predictions. We want to go beyond the headlines. We'll look at what's really happening, what it means for us in our daily lives, and most importantly, what's being done about it.
And what we can do about it. Let's start with the basics. Nita, in simple terms, what is climate change? We often hear it used interchangeably with global warming, but is there a difference?
Great question, Jack. It's a key distinction. Global warming refers specifically to the long-term heating of the planet's surface, primarily caused by human activities releasing greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere.
Right. It's like we're throwing a giant invisible blanket over the Earth, trapping heat.
Exactly. And climate change is the broader consequence of that warming. It's not just about things getting hotter on average, it's about the entire climate system being thrown off balance. This means more intense and frequent extreme weather events, stronger hurricanes, longer droughts, more severe wildfires, and heavier rainfall leading to flooding.
So global warming is the cause, and climate change is the effect. That makes it much clearer. Now, a common point of discussion is, how do we know for sure this is human-caused? The climate has changed before, right?
It certainly has. Earth has had ice ages and warm periods long before humans existed, but the speed and scale of the change we're seeing now is unprecedented. The scientific consensus is overwhelming. By studying ice cores, tree rings, and other climate proxies, scientists can see that the current rate of warming is about 10 times faster than the average rate after an ice age.
And the link to carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels is undeniable. We've increased the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere by nearly 50% since the Industrial Revolution. It's a massive experiment we're running on our only planet.
It is, and the impacts are no longer distant or abstract. Jack, think about the news from just the past few years. We've seen record-breaking heat waves across Europe and North America, devastating floods in Pakistan and Germany, and catastrophic wildfires in Australia and California. These aren't isolated incidents. They are the patterns that climate models have been predicting for decades.
And it hits home in our wallets, too. From rising food prices due to droughts, damaging crops, to higher insurance premiums because of increased storm and flood damage. This is a tangible economic issue, not just an environmental one.
It can all feel a bit heavy, I know, but here's where we pivot to the hopeful part of the conversation, solutions. Because the narrative of inevitable doom is not only inaccurate, it's paralyzing.
I'm glad you said that. So, what's happening on the big scale? What are governments and corporations doing?
A lot, actually. The transition to clean energy is accelerating faster than many predicted. Solar and wind power are now often cheaper than new fossil fuel plants. Electric vehicles are going mainstream. Major companies are making ambitious net zero pledges. And while we have to hold them accountable, it shows the direction the wind is blowing. Pun intended.
And on the international stage, agreements like the Paris Accords, for all their flaws, have created a global framework for action. Billions, even trillions of dollars are being invested in green technology, from next-generation batteries to green hydrogen.
And the innovation is incredible. We're seeing developments in everything from carbon capture technology that can pull CO2 directly from the air to new ways of making cement and steel without the massive carbon emissions.
But this leads to the question we all ask ourselves, is this great? But what can I do? Does my individual action even matter?
It's a fair question. And the answer is yes, but with a caveat. Yes, individual actions matter, not necessarily because your one reusable coffee cup will save the planet, but because of the collective signal it sends.
Right. When millions of people choose plant-based meals a few times a week, or opt for an electric vehicle, or switch to a green energy provider, the market listens. It creates demand for sustainable products and pushes industries to change.
Exactly. And individual action is also about becoming a citizen, not just a consumer. It's about talking to your friends and family about this issue without being confrontational. It's about supporting businesses that are sustainable and voting for leaders who have serious, science-based climate plans.
So let's give a few practical, non-intimidating examples. What are one or two things someone could do this week to make a difference?
Sure. First, take a look at your diet. You don't have to go fully vegan. Just try incorporating 1 or 2 meat-free days. The meat industry, particularly beef, has a huge carbon footprint.
Second, think about your transportation. Can you combine errands into one trip? Carpool with a colleague just one day a week? Or even try biking or walking for short journeys. It's good for the planet and for you.
And a third one. Be energy smart at home. Something as simple as switching to LED light bulbs, unplugging electronics you're not using, and washing your clothes in cold water can add up to significant energy savings over a year.
Small steps, big collective impact. The goal isn't perfection, it's participation.
So, to wrap up, Jack, what's the main takeaway you hope our listeners have today?
I hope they take away that climate change is real, it's serious, and it's here. But I also hope they understand that we are not powerless. We have the solutions. The challenge is scaling them up with speed and determination. It's about pragmatic hope, not blind optimism.
Beautifully said. It's the defining challenge of our generation, but it's also an incredible opportunity to build a cleaner, healthier, and more resilient world. We just have to choose to act.
Thank you for choosing to listen and be a part of this conversation.
If you have thoughts, questions, or your own tips for climate action, we'd love to hear from you. Comment below.
Until next time, keep finding common ground.